Hello again. I hope you've had a really good day today and you found it useful. It would be great if you could help us to spread the word on social media. So the hashtag for today is #TogetherOnline, and we're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn. And every share that you do helps us to get the word out about cardiomyopathy. So the content will continue to come out next week as well. So there's plenty of time to help. Now, at previous conferences at this time, I would normally be giving out awards. We give awards to individuals who've made a unique contribution to the community through fundraising, raising awareness, volunteering, or helping us to help shape NHS services. And we also ask our community to nominate a clinician that they think deserves to receive the Ronald Raven Award for Excellent Care. But this year is, of course, different. In spite of the UK lockdown and the inability of us to meet face to face, our community has pulled together even stronger and ensured that Cardiomyopathy UK provided the latest up-to-date information, support and care when it was needed most. And so many people stepped up that it's impossible for us to select individuals. So I'm going to give some group thank yous to the people who've been particularly important this year. So first of all, thank you to our support group leaders and the Facebook admin teams. They really helped us to prioritise the emotional and social wellbeing needs of our community and to move our face-to-face support groups online and meet the needs of our Facebook community. I said in our coffee and catch-up session today that we actually had 42,000 comments and posts in the time from March to the beginning of September. And a lot of that was COVID content, but a lot of that was new members who'd come to us during COVID and had stayed for support. I'd also like to thank our fundraisers. With the loss of the income the charity experienced with the cancellation of the Virgin London Marathon and other challenge events, we were struggling, but our fundraisers really stepped up and helped raise valuable funds for us in very ingenious and new ways, from buying a raffle ticket to running around their living room in Hong Kong, or to Christy, one of our staff, running a half marathon in his garden dressed as an octopus with a woolen hat on. Every pound they've raised has been appreciated more than ever in these difficult times. I'd also like to thank our peer supporters. So these are people who gave up their time to listen, to share with and reassure other people who were struggling with life under lockdown. And we're very grateful to them. Being that listening ear and empathetic voice has made a real difference to people who've been most affected in these times. I'd like to thank our voices of the community. So this is a range of people who gave their voice and experience to support us with things like providing videos for our urgent fundraising appeal, or indeed for this event, people who completed our COVID-19 services survey or engaged with research opportunities, and certainly those who've raised awareness of heart muscle disease and the charity in various ways. Of course, today and every day, it's important for us to thank the clinicians who care for us. So our speakers today and our clinical advisory group deserve a very special thank you. They stepped up to provide COVID-19 and cardiomyopathy specific information to us at a time when it was very difficult to find any evidence. They gave us timely responses to things. They gave us reassurance and helped us develop accurate information for people. And I know that many of them never thought they'd have to master Facebook Live videos. So I know it's been a learning curve for them as well. Now, having said I wasn't going to mention individuals, there is one outstanding individual that I must mention, and that's Stephanie Cruikshank. So some of you will have known Stephanie, who's been involved with the charity for many years. She's a volunteer, a patient, and a professional arrhythmia nurse. She really helped us out on the helpline at the onset of the pandemic, making sure that we had enough experts on the phone to speak to everybody who contacted us. It was an unbelievable time, and we couldn't have done it without her help, especially in evenings and weekends. We will be opening nominations for the Ronald Raven Award in the next few weeks, so please look out for more information on the charity's website and social media about opportunities to nominate the people who care for you and who you think are good. And of course, the charity and an event like this doesn't run without our staff SMIT team, which is much smaller than people would probably think. So I hope you will join me in giving them a virtual clap. That's all the staff, but especially Adrian Taylor today, who was tasked with finding an event partner, designing the agenda, planning the website, and getting all the speakers on board in record time. His emails to me have been getting later and later in the night in the last few weeks, and I know that he has gone beyond the scope of his job to help us deliver this event. But the whole team, led by our CEO, Joel Rose, were thrown in the deep end this year. Working from home with huge demands on their time, every member of staff got involved in answering helpline calls. They dealt with worries about the huge drop in income and how we would survive. I did, and the trustee team did ask for a lot of budget reforecasts, which they willingly provided. And also our services team provided support in new ways, in a very friendly way to people. Some of our new starters have never known office life, but they've got involved in their jobs and they've thrived. And everyone's hard work and good humour is appreciated. And on behalf of all the patients, and as a patient myself, I'd like to say thank you to them. My experience of the conference today is that it's run very well technically. So I'd like to say thank you to our conference providers and all the technical engineers that have been helping us on each of the live streams today, both on the technical side and on the planning side. So to sum up, so that's it for this year. I hope you've learned something, maybe taught something, shared something, and you feel that you've spent the gift of this day wisely. There's certainly things I miss of the face-to-face elements of our events. At time when you get to meet an online friend in person after sometimes many years, the insight into how the disease affects people in so many different ways, the inspiration that you get when patients come in and you see how they're living their lives, and that brings inspiration to both other patients and to clinicians. And I know that our clinicians don't just do our events out of duty, and we certainly don't pay them. They love meeting you, and it gives them energy to go back into the front line, charged with your ideas and committed to making services better. They always say after the event that the questions we ask are the hardest and the most interesting they get at any events they do, including professional cardiology conferences. And finally, it's a very sad goodbye from me to you. This is my last conference as chair of Cardiomyopathy UK. I've had 5 years as chair and more than that as a trustee. And some of you will know that I started the job with a terminal cancer diagnosis as well as cardiomyopathy. So I'm absolutely delighted to have been able to finish my term still standing. I'm extremely proud of the progress we've made in my time as chair, supported by a great team of trustees and delivered by the staff team and our volunteer team. We've rebranded, we've grown, we've diversified our income to increase our long-term stability. We've started more involvement in research and policy. We've taken services to where patients are in clinic and online. We've developed a whole network of support groups, started these annual conferences, and run very successful awareness campaigns that will save lives. We will shortly agree our plans for the next 3 years based on some of the feedback that you've given us recently, and we'll move into new premises before the end of the year. So at this stage in our development, and with my health changing, it means that now is the time for me to hand over the reins to someone with the energy, enthusiasm and experience to take us into the next 5 years. And I'm delighted to tell you that I have found that in Rita Sutton, who has experience of being a trustee over the last few years, and was the winner of the Caroline Biro Award last year. And I'm delighted to hand over the charity into very safe hands. So at this stage, I normally wish delegates safe travels or invite them to the bar. And as neither beckons you this year, please remember to give feedback about this conference so we know what's gone well and how we can make it better in the future. You will see a feedback option to the right of your screen. So can I ask you to complete that before you log off from the site? And as I said in my opening remarks, if you've enjoyed today or you've found some bit of useful information within it, we would appreciate a contribution to the costs of running events like this via the donate button. Now, I'm sure we will be back next year. My prediction for the future is we'll never go back to solely having face-to-face conferences. My hope is that we have hybrid events in the future, so we can meet up with friends but still have easy to access information at events like this. So, good health, au revoir, and goodbye from everyone at Team Cardio. Stay safe.